Let's dive right into this explainer, and honestly, we're gonna start right in the thick of it. Picture this. It's July 2026. Stephen Curry is 38 years old. He's got 4 NBA championships, 2 MVPs, and, he's universally recognized as the greatest shooter to ever pick up a basketball. But this summer, everything is changing. He's standing on this picturesque golf course in Lake Tahoe when, out of nowhere, a complete stranger yells out the news that his ultimate dream teammate just slipped away. So Curry is at Moses Moody's charity golf tournament, and get this, he'd actually made his pitch to LeBron earlier at the American Century Championship. He told them a potential pairing would be a unique story in sports history, even dangling the Bay Area's amazing golf scene as a bonus to, sweeten the deal. And the Warriors were totally considered the frontrunners, right up until they weren't. Curry didn't hear this massive news from his agent or the front office. Nope. He was checking his phone as a fan literally shouted across the green that LeBron had signed a 2-year, $8 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. Crazy, right? His response the very next day at Moses Moody's youth basketball camp was just remarkably measured, totally stoic. He said, and I quote, "That's why you don't envision anything until it happens. There's a lot of moving parts." It's a really realistic quote from a veteran who completely understands the harsh reality of the business. But it also heavily hints at the deeply flawed situation his own team is currently dealing with. Which brings us to Section 1, the Miss LeBron reunion and the moving parts. Now, to understand exactly what those moving parts were that cost Golden State the massive LeBron sweepstakes, we really have to look at the roster reality. LeBron chose a Sixers team boasting a healthy core. We're talking Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown. Now, contrast that with Golden State. Curry flat out admitted that when Jimmy Butler got hurt with a torn ACL and Moses Moody suffered a torn patellar tendon, the entire calculus changed. I mean, how do you get through their absence and stay at a championship level? Well, you don't. Especially considering the Warriors made 0 significant offseason signings, basically leaving a 38-year-old Curry waiting around for his star teammates to heal. So, let's move on to Section 2, a franchise in limbo. Let's pivot to the business side of things for a second, because the Miss LeBron reunion is honestly just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Warriors' current predicament. To understand the completely unprecedented leverage Curry has right now, we have to look at his contract. He is staring down the final year of a deal which is going to pay him $62.6 million for the upcoming 2026-27 season. But, as we all know, in the NBA, you are always looking at what comes next. So here's the crucial point. On August 29th, Curry becomes eligible to sign a massive 2-year extension worth nearly $70 million annually. Huge money. But for what might be the very first time in his legendary career, he might actually withhold his signature. He might just say, you know what? Let's wait. And why on earth would he wait on that kind of money? Well, a lot of analysts believe Curry's patience and his profound loyalty have totally been taken for granted. Look at the front office. They've prioritized a post-Curry future for years. They've traded exactly one conveying first-round pick, meaning a pick that actually transfers to another team, since the 2019-20 season. Meanwhile, the current plan seems to be asking a 38-year-old Steph Curry to basically carry a heavily depleted, offensively limited roster, all while facing league-high double-team rates until Jimmy Butler returns. By the time Butler is actually healthy, the Warriors might literally be fighting just for a chance to make the playoffs in the 10th seed play-in tournament. So, holding out on this extension, that is the ultimate trump card to put some much-needed pressure on Team Governor Joe Lacob. Which naturally leads us to the ultimate question facing the basketball world right now. Will Curry stay and try to drag this team back to the mountaintop? Or is he going to finally leverage his status and chase ring number 5 somewhere else? Just let that tension of his on-court vulnerability linger for a second. Because while his current NBA future is incredibly murky, his permanent place in basketball history was just solidified in a way we have literally never seen before. Let's check out Section 3, Active Hall of Famer. We're going to completely shift gears and head over to Springfield, Massachusetts. On July 24, 2026, amidst all the crazy chaos of free agency and roster construction, Curry achieved a milestone that is completely unmatched in modern basketball history. He opened Stephen Curry Beyond the Arc. For the first time in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame's nearly 75-year history, an active, currently playing NBA athlete received their own dedicated exhibit. Developed in a tight partnership with Curry's 30 Inc. team, this isn't just, a glass case with a pair of old shoes. It's a fully immersive experience running right through the summer of 2027, absolutely packed with game-worn gear, championship artifacts, and completely irreplaceable Olympic collectibles. The whole exhibit acts as this amazing micro-narrative of one of the greatest ascents in sports history. It walks fans through his journey, starting way back in 2009 when he was just an undersized, kind of overlooked college prospect out of Davidson, picked 7th overall. It traces his evolution through the incredible dynasty years, 4 NBA championships, 2 MVPs, an Olympic gold medal, all the way to 2026, where he stands as the NBA's all-time leader in three-pointers and the subject of his own Hall of Fame exhibit, while still actively lacing up his sneakers. Curry was profoundly moved by this honor, noting, "To have that story told while I'm still playing is something I don't take lightly." His genuine hope is that fans walking through those halls can literally feel the joy, the profound sense of purpose, and the deep gratitude that the game of basketball has given him over the decades. All right, moving to our final segment. Section 4, the billion-dollar next chapter. And this brings us to the final, jaw-dropping piece of Curry's Crossroads summer. Just when you thought the Miss LeBron reunion and the historic Hall of Fame exhibit were enough for one off-season, Curry decided to end a defining 12-year era with Under Armour. Just let that number sink in for a second. $400 million. Curry signed a massive 10-year endorsement deal with the Chinese sportswear giant Li-Ning. This astronomical figure proves without a shadow of a doubt that his leverage, his marketability, and his overall influence extend far, far beyond the physical basketball court. When you actually compare the deals, you see exactly why he made the jump. Curry actually turned down similarly lucrative and perhaps even higher offers from other brands. So why Li-Ning? Because they offered him an empire. They're giving him a standalone Curry brand, specifically modeled after the autonomy of Nike's Jordan brand. We're talking planned, dedicated Curry brand physical stores in both the United States and China, alongside aggressive expansions into dedicated golf and athleisure apparel lines. This is a massive landmark victory for Li-Ning, showing they can absolutely compete with the traditional heavyweights for the biggest names in all of sports. So how did this whole partnership come to be? Well, before signing anything, Curry meticulously did his homework. He actively tested the signature shoes of other Li-Ning athletes, namely NBA legend Dwayne Wade and, ironically enough, his own Warriors teammate, Jimmy Butler. He realized the quality was totally there. This move is an absolute masterclass in business strategy. Curry is actively tapping into an estimated 150 million global fans to compete directly with Nike and Adidas. But most importantly, he's laying the concrete foundation for a post-basketball legacy that's going to thrive long after he retires. Which brings us to the perfect thought to leave you with today. The summer of 2026 was undeniably a season of massive, shifting tides for Stephen Curry. With a rapidly changing NBA landscape, ongoing contract drama, unprecedented historical honors, and a brand new global business empire, we really have to ask, will this 38-year-old icon ultimately define his legacy on the court with a final, elusive 5th ring, or off the court as a billion-dollar global business mogul? Honestly, one thing is for sure, the story of Stephen Curry's influence isn't winding down. It's just entering its most fascinating chapter yet.